Friday the, where are we? Looking at the calendar, it's Friday the 8th of September, and actually it's not, I'm telling a lie, it's Saturday the 9th, but this is the video that I should have done yesterday, and I was just, it was a hectic day yesterday. I spent pretty much the whole day standing where I am now, chopping apples. And there's a lot of apples being prepared. Friends are now very, very kindly arriving with boxes of apples and plastic tubs of apples and some pears and carrier bags of apples, and Mark's work colleagues are giving them apples, and we've got quite a lot of apples. And the other thing I did yesterday morning was to go out into the garden, and I picked £1, 3 ounces of raspberries, which I brought in, and I made some raspberry jam. And then when Mr. J got home from work, I texted him and asked him to bring home some cream, and when he got home from work I'd made some scones, and we had scones and raspberry jam and cream, which is it's just a delight. And it's the first time I've ever made raspberry jam with homemade raspberries, and it's the first time I've ever made raspberry jam full stop. So that was a milestone. So I'm 54 years old and I've never made raspberry jam before, but there you go. Looks like I'm going to be making plenty of it in the future. Now, with all those apples yesterday, some of them oh, you can see here, so some of them over there I stewed, and they're in jars, and for those of you who are canning experts, I'm sure you will be horrified to see that they are in jars, but they are in jars with the lids that pop, that tell you whether the seal's been broken, and they have been prepared with some additional vinegar in them to increase the acidity, and they won't last very long because we really like apples. I like apple crumble. I'm not a fan of pie because I don't really like pastry. And particularly since I've been gluten-free pastry just doesn't do it for me. But I do like an apple crumble. So yeah, so I've got those then. So that's 3. Well, those are 1 pint jars. So whether that's £3 or 3 pints, I don't know. But anyway, there's 3 of those, and I have another fermenting bucket half filled with apples to make some apple wine. Now, these apples are the ones that are coloured pink on the inside. They're tinged, the flesh is pink. So what I'm hoping is that we will have a pink apple wine. That sounds rather nice, doesn't it? And yesterday I also picked about half a carrier bag full of runner beans, and some of them are getting quite big and woody now, and I'm leaving those ones because they will be our seeds for next year. But the smaller beans, I picked about half a carrier bag of those, and some purple beans and some yellow podded beans, and I took them round to Dorothy, who lives over the fields, and I swapped them for some of her very nice Pearmain apples. I think they're a William Pearmain, I think that's what they're called. Anyway, they're lovely. There might be a Somerset Pearmain, I don't know. They're a Pearmain type of apple, which are very, very nice, and some pears. So that was a good swap, and so it's going to be a brief one today. So I just want to briefly catch up with where I've got to. So it was just over £1 of raspberries. It was £1, 3 ounces, so I only count that as a pound. And it was £22 of apples, and I'm so fed up of cutting up apples. I really am. But I know that in the middle of winter and in early spring, when we are eating apple crumble, and it tastes fabulous because they are local apples, well, you know, I'm not going to be complaining at all. I'm just going to be thinking, thank goodness I did all that chopping. So I did that, and I also picked up £2 of eating apples. Well, I didn't pick them up. I picked them from our trees, and they are now stored in the barn. And remember I showed you those great big bread trays that we were given, and I've put the compressed cardboard inserts in them to allow me to store the apples without them touching. So we've now, well, I think we've got about 9 apples or something now, but they are coming on our trees, and they're definitely definitely ripening, so it won't be too long before I can fill up one of those bread baskets, and we'll have apples stored for the winter as well. I can't think of anything nicer than on Christmas Day, you know, having apples that we've grown ourselves and we've stored carefully, and they still taste as good as, you know, well, almost as good as when you just pick them off the tree. I mean, what a delight. We've Mr. J and I have spent the last 3 to 4 days saying, oh, this will be nice at Christmas, this will be nice at Christmas. Well, I'll tell you, with the amount of stuff that we've said this will be nice at Christmas, we'll actually need the whole 24 hours to eat it. Well, that's it for today. As I said, it was just a quick catch up, let you know that basically I did nothing other than stand at my trusty old chopping block and chop apples. So, wherever you are in the world and whatever you're doing today, I hope it's a good one for you. I hope if you are in an area that is about to be hit or is being hit by a hurricane, I hope you are safe, and I hope you are well, and I hope you get to return home safely very soon. And don't forget to join me again tomorrow.